नमस्कार. Namaskar. Research aptitude, ethical norms and research do not involve thesis format. The value of research has been lost when when a researcher behavior become prejudiced. A researcher becomes prey of hallucinations. A researcher feels agreement with imaginary assumptions. Some research scholars think that when a little extension will be made in dissertation, it will be equivalent to the degree of PhD. This idea denotes the illusions on the part of researcher for doing external criticism for establishing the authenticity of data. A researcher must verify the signature and handwriting of the author, the paper and ink used in that period, which is the study style of prose writing of that period. While writing research report, a researcher must not use the numerical figures in numbers in the beginning of sentences, must arrange it in logical, topical, and chronological order, must compare his results with those of other studies. In context of ethical research, a researcher should consider research as a value-oriented process. Suppose a researcher has some prejudices in relation to some problem, then the research carried out by him is called polluted research. When a researcher do not possess the quality of collection of the facts from social and environment, some such a research will not be a pure research. If a researcher has the quality of exploration and has the fine skills in his field of research, the research will be value oriented. When a researcher is engaged in research in a subjective manner, the subject will be inadequate formulation of objectives, inadequate selection of apertures, inadequate collection of data. The polluted facts can give birth to polluted research, which precautions should be kept in mind by the researcher during the selection of a representative sample. Deep knowledge of the target population, the adequate knowledge of the sampling technique, accurate implementation of the sampling design. A researcher should consider himself as open-minded and radical in order to inculcate the ethical values in the research. It is essential that it should be in accordance with the researcher's abilities. The research should not be carried out with blindfolded eyes. The meaning of this phrase is the research should be free from all personal biases. The research should be free from personal limitations. The research should be separated from personal ideology. Statements having negative implications for research ethics. Related studies are cited without proper evidences. Conduct of practitioner is screened in terms of reported research evidences. Both policy making and policy for implementing processes are regulated in terms of preliminary studies. Under the evaluation research, which types of decisions are made? Need assessment, process evaluation, context evaluation. The issue of research ethics may be considered pertinent at which stage of research? At the stage of reporting the findings. To which of the ethics are related to beliefs of the person's nature of law, civic principles and rights. Each mode of research should be justifiable. The ethics in research is related to a scientific method, humanity, reliability. The justification explains the adequacy of the research. The research work is not influenced by the course of some other researchers. The sorry, the assumptions are formulated on the basis of cultural background of a country. Which sorry, The most valid reason for recognizing our own values in pursuit of research. It allows us to be honest with ourselves about what may influence our research. Possible harms that might be suffered by research participant: impaired development, stress and anxiety, physical inquiry. Research is not considered ethical if it is no it is sorry it is not of a high standard. Ethical transgression: to defy ethical principles susceptible to the issue of research ethics. Reporting of research findings: a good researcher lays his hands on a specific area and tries to understand it in minute details. The problem of research ethics is concerned with which aspect of research activities, evidence-based research reporting, in which phase of research process data storage is done, empirical phase, the phase of a research process, conceptual phase, empirical phase, analytical phase. The basic component of computer keyboard, CPU, monitor points should include researcher in the discussion section of article writing. Non-technical interpretation of results, linking results to original purposes and hypotheses, identifying the study's limitations. Samples of the article is included in which section of article writing methodology. The introduction section of an article contains regions of the conducted study, theoretical framework. An article is a topic specific indication of the quality of a research journal. Impact factor: the quality of research proposals will diminish when you try to give extra importance to certain person. The basic rules of APA: style of referencing format. Invert author's name, last name first. Italicize titles of longer works such as books and journals. Alphabetically index references list. The advantage of writing a thesis in a scientific manner: it communicates globally. At the time of submission of a research thesis, the purpose of receiving a certificate by the supervisor to the researcher is to ensure authenticity of the research work. In finalizing a thesis writing format, which sorry, in th- sorry, in finalizing a thesis writing format, bibliography and appendices would form part of supplementary pages. Bibliography given in research report shows vast knowledge of the researcher. The core elements of a dissertation are executive summary, literature review, data gathered, conclusions, bibliography. Bibliography given in a research report helps those interested in further research and studying the problem from another angle, makes the report authentic. Elements should be listed. Sorry, Elements should be listed while writing the section of a thesis. The difficulties faced during the research, the limitations of the research, the futuristic improvements to be carried out by other researchers. There is a provision of writing suggestions and recommendations at the last page of each thesis because it is merely a tradition. No, sorry, the words of preface. The words of preface should be balanced, alert, and humble. A good thesis writing should involve induction of punctuation and grammatical errors to a minimum, careful checking of references, consistency in the way the thesis is written, a clear and well-written abstract. A research thesis is generally compared with human body in spite of the differences existed in its different parts. It must have functional continuity. Following are the essential elements of report writing: research methodology, reference, conclusion. Which of the following can be the most appropriate method of a thesis writing? Sorry, most appropriate method of a thesis writing: scientific. The reporting of research findings should be done in a scientific and effective way. The quality of research thesis can be enhanced by giving good charts, flow diagrams, and systematic graphs. There is a need for the qualities of labeling, page numbering, and refinement in the graphical figures in a research. Artistic qualities in a thesis, figures and tables are included in the text itself. A thesis statement is an assertion. The format of thesis writing is same as in a research dissertation. The significance of giving preface in a thesis writing is to pay obeisance towards the research. The title page of a research thesis should be brief and meaningful, scientific and logical, aesthetic and attractive. Whose concentration is required? Whose concentration is required before preparing a thesis? Elder colleagues, supervisor, predecessors' works. What are the sources to collect evidence in research? Primary and secondary sources. The main part of the research is title page, trunk region, posterior region. In the two sets given, set 1 provides the format of representation. In the two sets given below, set 1 provides the format of presentation, and set 2 gives the distinctive features to go with them. Match the two sets and select from the code to indicate your answer. Format of presentation, distinctive feature. Thesis dissertation. Systematic prescribed format: research paper, presentation on a summary of research done, workshop, target oriented group based reflection, seminar, reflective deliberations based on specific themes. Which of the following arrangements a wider spectrum of ideas and issues may be made possible? Conference. In which of the following activities potential for nurturing creative and critical thinking is relatively great in participation in research conference? Conferences are organized for multiple target groups, group discussions, showcasing new research. Conferences are meant for multiple target groups, group discussions, showcasing new research. A conference is a provision to discuss on serious matters, adequate solution of research problems, wider manipulation of research inferences. What are the advantages of a conference? Mutual exchange of ideas, development of democratic values, guidance of new researchers. Which of the following are the characteristics of a seminar? It is a form. It is a form of academic. Sorry, it is a form of academic instruction. It involves questioning, discussion, and debates. It needs. Sorry, it needs. Sorry, it needs the involvement of skilled persons. Sorry, the constituents of a seminar is slash speakers, organizer, chairman. When academicians are called to deliver lecture or presentation to an audience on certain topic or a set of topic of educational nature, it is called seminar. A seminar can be described as the interactional process of thinking, the process of promoting the reflective level, the process of nurturing the higher cognition. The objectives of a seminar is less are to develop critical and analytical capacities in a researcher, to develop observational, experimental, presenting capabilities in a researcher. To develop observational and experiential presenting capabilities in a researcher, to develop synthetic and evaluated to develop synthetic and evaluation related abilities in a researcher. Workshop is a brief intensive course for a small group emphasizing the development of a skill or a technique for solving a specific problem. A group of experts in a specific area of knowledge assembled at a place and prepared a syllabus for a new course. The process may be termed as workshop. Which of the following is lesser characteristics of a research workshop? To attain the higher cognitive and psychomotor objectives of the research, to comprehend the theoretical and practical aspects of the research, to explore the possibilities of applied aspects of the research. Which of the following is lesser steps of a research workshop? The presentation and explanation of the topic, the practice of following an approach, follow-up and evaluation of a topic. Who sorry who plays a pivotal role in a workshop with expert? Which of the following is lesser advantages of a research paper? The exchange of ideas related to research, the familiarity with research approaches, the awareness about present researches. A research paper is essential to be published for all the teachers in higher education institutions. Who among the following generally prepare research papers? The research scholars, the research supervisors, the scientists. The main purpose of a research paper is to communicate the research. Research reports should be reviewed in a light of methodological factors. The research paper's writing methodology has slight variations in reference to all of the above statements are correct with slight variations. The research paper's writing methodology has slight variation in reference to the standard maintained by research journals, the interests of the researchers, the research traditions. All of the above statements are correct with slight variation. Answer is the answer is all of the above statements are correct with slight variations. Which of the following variables cannot be expressed in quantitative terms? Professional attitude. A research paper can be presented in journals, symposium, seminars. Which of the following is less are basic requirements for preparing a research paper? The research orientation of the person, the research skills in the person, the research the research attitudes in the person. The synopsis of research is called blueprint mapping of problem base of a problem. Which of the following belongs to the category of good research ethics? Conducting a review of the literature that acknowledges the contributions of other people in the relevant field or relevant prior board. Good research ethics means not disclosing the holdings of shares/stocks in a company that sponsors your research. Which of the following is not the method of research? Philosophical. Match list to one with list two and choose the correct answer from the codes given below. Historical method, past events, survey method, present events, philosophical method, vision, experimental method, future action. Below are given two sets search methods. Set 1 and connection data collection tools. Set 2 which match the two sets and indicate your answer by selecting the correct code. Set 1 research methods. Set 2 data collection tools. Experimental method questionnaire ex post facto method standardized tests descriptive survey method using primary and secondary sources historical method typical characteristic tests. The two sets given below. Set 1 specifies the method of research while set 2 describes the critical features associated with the method of research. Match the two select from the code to indicate your answer. Experimental method establishing cause and effect through control. Ex post facto method probing into the causal factors from the observed effects. Historical method establishing the patterns of events which have happened through primary and secondary sources. Ethnographic method studying shared behavior patterns. Sorry. In mixed methods, research quantitative and qualitative findings should be integrated. When a researcher is not deceptive about the field research that he/she is, this person is probably assuming the role of participant as observer. In participant observation research, the role of the complete participant forces the researcher to be discreet about his/her research. A satisfactory statistical quantitative method should not possess one of the following qualities: flexibility. Which of the following is not an example of a continuous variable intelligence? Which of the following variables cannot be expressed in quantitative terms? Professional attitudes. Which of the following is a non-probability sampling purpose? The sequential operations in scientific research are theorization, generalization, elimination of spurious relations, covariation. Sampling error decreases with increase in sample size. Which of the following is a non-graphical probability sampling purpose? The frequency distribution of a research data which is symmetrical in shape similar to a normal distribution but center peak is much higher in leptokurtic sampling cases means sampling of people, newspapers, television programs, etc. Which of the following principles are followed in selection of research problems, future orientation of a problem? In order to make a field research successful, a researcher must be creative, population generalizability, refers to the degree to which a sample represents the population of interest. A researcher is interested in studying the prospectus of a particular political party in an urban area. What tool should he prefer for the study? Rating scale. A data collection method in which the researcher does not interact with the subjects being studied is called an unobtrusive measure. Which of the following sampling method is based on probability? Stratified sampling. Which of the following sampling methods is not based on probability? Quota sampling. The potent prerequisites of a research in sciences, social sciences and humanities are supervisor, topic, critical analysis and patience. In sampling, the lottery method is used for randomization. A statistical technique used for large number of variables to establish whether there is a tendency of groups to be interrelated is factor analysis. The term phenomenology is associated with qualitative research. We use factorial analysis to know the difference among many variables. Which of the following steps are required to design a questionnaire? Writing primary and secondary aims of the study, review of the current literature, prepare a draft of questionnaire, revision of the draft. To test null hypothesis, a researcher uses chi-square test. In order for a variable to be measured, a researcher must provide an operational definition. In qualitative research paradigm, which of the following features may be considered critical? Data collection with bottom-up empirical evidences. Which of the following is defined as a systematic method of evaluating statistical data based on the results of several independent studies of the sample of the same problem? Meta-analysis. The essential qualities of a researcher are spirit of free inquiry, reliance on observation and evidence, systematization or theorizing of knowledge. Generalized conclusion on the basis of a sample is technically known as data analysis and interpretation. Parameter inference, statistical inference. What is research design? A framework for every stage of the collection and analysis of data. In the process of conducting research, formulation of hypothesis is followed by collection of data. A good hypothesis should be precise, specific, and consistent with most known facts, formulated in such a way that it can be tested by the data of limited scope and should not have global significance. Identify the incorrect statement. Scientific hypothesis is a scientific theory. A working hypothesis is a provisionally accepted hypothesis for future research. Which of the following issues are defined declarative hypothesis? The declaration of the relationship among the variables, the expression of the correlation among the variables. The concepts in a hypothesis are stated as variables. Which of the following statements is true in the context of testing of a hypothesis? It is only the null hypothesis that can be tested. When a when a possible solution to the problem has been written in desired direction, this type of hypothesis is called directional hypothesis. In a research on the effect of child rearing practices on stress proneness of children in completing school projects, the hypothesis formatted is that rearing practices do not influence stress proneness. At the data analysis stage, a null hypothesis is advanced to find out the tenability of research hypothesis on the basis of the evidence available. The null hypothesis is subjected at 0.01 level of significance. What decision may be warranted in respect of the research hypothesis? The research hypothesis will be accepted. Which of the following is an essence? Which of the following is an initial mandatory requirement for pursuing research? Developing a research design. Which of the following is not a type of a problem? Longitudinal problems. Research problem is selected from the standard point of researcher's interest. When a research problem is related to a heterogeneous pollution, the most suitable method is stratified sampling. Which of the sets of activities best indicate the psychic nature of action? Research strategy, plan, act, observe, reflect. Identify those stages and steps of research in which ethical considerations become relevant. Choose on the core to give your answer. The collecting data through use of research tools, data analysis and procedure employed, reporting the procedure of findings/results. Arrange the following steps of research in correct sequence. Identification of research problem, listing of research objectives, methodology, collection of data, data analysis, results and discussion. First step of research is finding a problem. Which of the following is not a type of problem? Longitudinal problem. Research problem is selected from the standard point of researcher's interest. Identify those stages or steps of research in which ethical considerations become relevant. Choose from the core to give your answer. Collecting data through use of research tools, data analysis and procedure employed, reporting procedure of findings/results. The principal of a school conducts an interview session of teachers and students with a view to explore the possibility of their enhanced participation in school programs. This endeavor may be related to which type of research? Action research. Which of the following research types focus on ameliorating the prevailing situations? Action research. The research stream of immediate application is action research. The paradigm of research which focuses on the development of professional expertise of the researcher practitioner is called action research. There are two sets given below. Set 1 specifies the type of research, while set 2 indicates their characteristics. Set 1 research types, set 2 characteristics. Fundamental research, developing an effective explanation through use of interventions. Applied research, exploring the possibility of a theory for use in various situations. Action research, improving an existing situation through use of interventions. Evaluative research, finding out the extent of perceived impact of an intervention. So the following statements is not true in the context of participatory research. It emphasizes on people as experts. When planning to do as social research, it is better to approach the topic with an open mind. Which of the following is classified in the category of development research? Philosophical research, action research, descriptive research. Which of the following approaches are famous among science sociological researchers? Analytical approach, positivism approach. In the positivism approach, which method is mainly used? Scientific. Which sequence of research steps is logical in the list given below? Problem formulation, hypothesis making, development of research design, collection of data, data analysis and formulation of generalizations and conclusions. Which of the following sequences of research step is nearer to scientific method? perceiving the problem situation, locating the actual problem and its definition, hypothesizing, deducing and the consequences of the situation of the suggested solution, testing and retesting the hypothesis in action. While which research had the purpose to study the cause and effect relationship. Experimental research. The experimental studies are based on manipulation of the variables. Empirical research is based on direct experience of researcher, direct observation of researcher. Which of the following is the example of basic/fundamental research? A study assessing whether men or women are likely to suffer from depression. A study looking at how caffeine consumption affects our brain. A study looking at how family environment influences the socialization of a child. Fundamental research reflects the ability to expound, expound new principles. The research that applies the laws at the time of field study to draw more and more clear ideas about the problem is applied research. The principles of fundamental research are used in applied research. The research that applies the laws at the time of field study to draw more and more clear ideas about the problem is applied research. The term associated with the theory and the method of interpretation of human action in social sciences is hermeneutics. The research that aims at immediate application is action research. Which type of research concerns itself with the with cause cause effect relationships? Analytical. The research approach of Max Weber to understand how people create meanings in natural setting is identified as interpretative paradigm. To search measures to reduce the absentee rate among employees of a company. The example of which type of research? Analytical. Which research measures the level of association or relationship between two or more variables? Correlational. Which research is conducted for those problems which have not been researched before? Explanatory. Which research is conducted for such problems which have not been clearly defined? Exploratory. Which of the following is the use of factorial analysis in research to reduce many variables to a manageable few in order to prepare research report? The quality desired in a research is mental balance, scientific attitude, skill-oriented capabilities. The conclusions/findings of which type of research cannot be generalized to other situations. Experimental research. The process not needed in experimental research is content analysis. Attributes of objects, events, or things which can be measured is called variables. This research is a process of critical inquiry into past events. The statement indicates towards which type of research. Historical research to find out for solutions for the betterment of tribal community and indigenous. An example of which research? Historical research. Which of the following options are the main tasks of research in modern society? To systematically examine and critically analyze the investigations/resources with objectivity, to discover new things, to keep pace with the advancement in the knowledge. Which of the following is most appropriate about post facto research? The research is carried out after the incident. Which of the following is research the researchers attempt to trace and effect? Expects post facto research. Researcher intends to explore the effect of possible factors for the organization of effective midday meal interventions. Which research method will be most appropriate for this study? Ex post facto method. A researcher attempts to evaluate the effect of method of feeding on anxiety proneness of children. Which method of research would be appropriate for this? Ex post facto method. Which of the following is the characteristics of an authentic research? Validity, credibility, objective. Sine qua non essential elements of good research is well-formulated hypothesis. Which of the following is not a characteristic of research? Research is not a process. A good piece of research is a product of a penetrating and analytical mind. Which of the following statements is correct in in context of identifying theory, an organized body of concepts and principles intended to explain a particular phenomenon. Research can be conducted by a person who possesses thinking and reasoning ability. Research can be classified as basis, applied, and action research, quantitative and qualitative research, philosophical, historical, survey, and experimental research. Which of the following is the types of field studies, exploratory testing, hypothesis testing, which research is primarily concerned with finding out what is less what was descriptive research, in which of the following research manipulation is always a part of descriptive research. Which of the following is the objective of research? To gain familiarity with phenomena and achieve new insights into it. A research is conducted to fulfill which of the following: generate new knowledge, obtain research degree, interpret existing knowledge. Which of the following statements is less are true? Research objectives can be worded in statement form. The depth of any research can be judged by objectives of the research. A research paper can be published in more than one journal. In what ways the objectivity of the research can be enhanced? Through its impartiality, through its reliability, through its validity, which is the main objective of research: to discover new facts or to make fresh interpretations of known facts. Research is working in a scientific way to search for truth of any problem. A test of research aptitude for candidates of the unit is aimed at screening the person having scientific bent of mind, who said that research is a systematic effort to gain new knowledge. And Redman and Mori, which of the following statements regarding the meaning of research are correct? Research refers to a series of systematic activity or activities undertaken to find out the solution of a problem. It is a systematic, logical, and an unbiased process where verification of hypotheses, data analysis, interpretation, and formulation of principles can be done. It is an intellectual inquiry or quest towards truth. It leads to enhancement of knowledge. Which of the following statements best reflect the meaning and characteristics of research? Select from the code to give your answer. Research means challenging the status quo. Research is a synthesis of reductive and inductive processes. Research is a critical and passionate search for knowledge. Teaching aptitude. Good evaluation of written material is not based on which of the following. Good evaluation of written material is not based on which of the comprehension of subject. Sometimes tests are taken without notice. What is their use? Surprise test help in correct evaluation of students' knowledge. Which of the following statements is correct in the context of multiple choice type questions? They are more objective than true-false type questions. On the basis of summative test, its teacher is interpreting his lesson students' performance in terms of their wellness lifestyle. Evident in favor, this will be called criterion referencing testing. The purpose of formative evaluation is to accelerate a student's learning performance. Measure should be Formative evaluation tends to accelerate the pace of learning revision or as against summative evaluation. Formative evaluation is highly reliable. A is true but R is false. From the list of evaluations procedures given below, identify those which will be called formative evaluation. Indicate your answer by choosing from the codes. During interaction with students in the classroom, the teacher provides corrective feedback. The teacher clarifies the doubts of students in the class itself. The learner's motivation is raised by the teacher through question answer session. Which of the following types of evaluation assesses the learning progress to provide continuous feedback to both teacher and students during instruction? Formative evaluation. Which of the following is the most important characteristic of open book examination system? It compels students to think. The main objective of student evaluation of teacher are to make teachers take tests seriously, to help teachers adopt innovative methods of teaching, to identify the areas of further improvement in teachers' traits. Which of the following indicates evaluation? So, Ram got 45 marks out of 200. Mohan got 38% marks in English. Sham got first division in final examination. Evaluation of learning outcomes means making judgments on the basis of gathered evidence related to student learning. Which of the following is the highest level of cognitive ability? Evaluating. Match the items of the first set with that of the second set in respect of evaluation system. Formative evaluation, quizzes and discussions tests. Summative evaluation, grading the final learning outcomes. Evaluation, continuous and comprehensive grading the continuous comprehensive, evaluating cognitive and co-cognitive aspects with regularity. Norm and criterion referenced tests and their interpretations based on a group and certain yardsticks. Which of the following methods the true evaluation of the students is possible? Continuous evaluation. In teaching, the most effective method of evaluation is continuous comprehensive evaluation throughout the term. What are the characteristics of continuous and comprehensive evaluation? It replaces marks with grades. It evaluates every aspect of the student. It helps in reducing examination phobia. Measures for an effective classroom communication. For an effective classroom communication, at times it is desirable to use the projection technology. Reason are using the projection technology facilitates extensive coverage of course contents. Both A and R are true, but are not the correct explanation. The use of teaching aids is justified on the grounds of effective engagement of students in learning tasks. Which of the following is a teaching aid? Working model of windmill tape recorder, 16 mm film projector, use of telecast materials, enhances concentration and learning. Authentic materials used in classroom as teaching aids are materials taken from authorized sources. Diagnostic evaluation for certain causes and remedies of persistent learning problems during instructions. Achievement tests are commonly used for the purpose of assessing the amount of learning after teaching. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a good achievement test? Ambiguity. TV is superior to radio as teaching aid because it invites two senses, hearing and vision, simultaneously, leading to more accurate form of learning. Audio aids provide stimulation through hearing with ears. The spatial audio production. The spatial audio reproduction in a classroom can reduce the students' cognitive load in understanding. Which of the following belongs to a projected aid? Blackboard the use of radio for higher education is based on the presumption of everybody having access to a uh, sorry everybody having access to a radio set. You are planning to teach an anatomy. The most suitable teaching it would be to show them MS PowerPoint presentations and video which but depicting location and functions of parts of the human body. A teacher uses audiovisual aids and physical activities in her teaching because they utilize maximum number of senses to enhance learning. A smart classroom is a teaching space which has smart portion with a touch panel control system, PC slash laptop connection and DVD slash visual player, document camera and specialized software projector and screen. Teacher uses visual aids to make learning interesting. Here the film does not belong to a projected aid. Blackboard visual aids provide stimulation through seeing with the eyes. An effective teaching aid is one which activates all faculties. Which of the following statements about teaching aids are correct? They help in retaining concepts for longer duration. They help students learn better. They make teaching learning process interesting. Teaching aids can help teachers to make teaching interesting. Instructional aids are used by the teachers to clarify the concepts. The teacher introduces a mathematical formulae and rules by showing a video. The teacher gives lot of meaningful examples to demonstrate the application. It is the inductive approach. Choose the correct option. Teacher can be assisted by computer-aided education. SWAM provides an online learning platform which consists of how many TV channels? 32. MOOCs was set up in which year? 2008. For a teacher, which of the following methods would be correct for writing on the blackboard? Writing the important points as clearly as possible. SWAM online method of teaching was launched in which year? 2017. Consider the following statements about SWAM. SWAM is designed to achieve the three cardinal principles of education policy, that is access, equity, and quality to all. It promotes e-learning. It provides opportunities for a lifelong learning. Which of the following essays are considered as the offline method of teaching? Team teaching method, discussion method, project method, demonstration method. In the two sets given below, set for one indicates method of teaching while set 2 provides the basic requirements for success effectiveness. Method of teaching basic requirements for success effectiveness. Lecturing content deeply in a lucid language. Discussion in group. Discussion in group, team-based interaction among participants. Brainstorming, production of large number of ideas, programmed instructional procedure, small step presentation with feedback provided. Discussion in class will be more effective if the topic of discussion is informed to the students in advance. Discussion method can be used when the topic is difficult. In which teaching method learners participation is made as optimal and proactive? Discussion method. Maximum participation of students is possible in which teaching? Through discussion method. The best method of teaching is to initiate a discussion and participate in it. Micro teaching is more effective during preparation for teaching practice. Which of the following is a scaled down teaching situation? Micro teaching. The lecture method is useful when a teacher is dealing with large group while delivering a lecture. If there is some disturbance in the class, then a teacher should Not bother about what is happening in the class. Which of the following statement is not correct? Lecture can method can develop reasoning. Maximum participation of students during teaching is possible through lecture method. Demonstration refers to a teaching method in which learners read from the text and internalize the steps of the process. If the focus of learning is to increase skills, the most suitable method of teaching would be demonstration. Which of the following is the best method of teaching? Demonstration. Team teaching has the potential to develop the habit of supplementing the teaching of each other. Which of the following methods of teaching encourages the use of maximum senses laboratory method in order to promote direct learning? Which of the following methods would be best suited? Project method. Which of the following is considered the oldest teaching method? Lecture method. Lecture is a teaching method can be more effective if a teacher teaches the content of lectures with appropriate examples from other disciplines. A lecture method is an effective way to introduce new information concepts. Technology is essential in education because it makes teaching effective and efficient. Which of the following should a teacher adopt in a lecture? Precise and high turn teaching technique used by a teacher to teach include lecture, interactive lecture, group work, self-study. Who among the following bounded the concept of paradigm? Thomas Kuhn. And in the following teaching process in order presentation of instructional materials relate the present knowledge and with precise turn sorry formulating instructional objectives relate the present knowledge with previous one presentation of instructional materials evaluation reteaching questionnaire in teaching is most useful in ensuring active participation of learners in the class. A blackboard can be utilized best by a teacher for writing the important and notable points as regards the use of blackboard in the class. Which arrangements should be made for the students with weak eyesight? They should be given front seats. Which of the following is not instructional material? Transparency. Books can be a powerful source of communication provided the medium is Hindi. In the classroom, the teacher sends the message either as word or image. The students are really decoded. And diagram speaks more than 1,000 words. The statement means that the teacher should use teaching aids in the classroom. If you get an opportunity to teach a visually challenged student along with normal students, what type of treatment would you like to give him in the class? Arrange a seat in the front row and try to teach at a pace convenient to him. Measures and teaching aids have to be considered as an effective supplement to instruction. Teaching are they keep the students in good humor. Both and are true, but are is not the correct explanation of a good teaching is best reflected by meaningful questions asked by students to maintain interest among students in class. A teacher should make the maximum use of teaching aids, discuss, ask questions intermittently. Which combination of methods of teaching is likely to optimize learning? Interactive lecture sessions followed by buzz sessions, brainstorming, and projects. Which among the following can make a class more effective? Keeping students relaxed while teaching. While planning instructional procedures, what would be your goal to achieve all the developmental goals? Which of the following learners or characteristics are likely to influence the effectiveness of teaching aids and evaluation systems to ensure positive results? Learners' maturity level, academic performance level, and motivational dispositions. The teacher has been glorified by the phrase friend, philosopher, and guide because it transmits the high value of humanity to students. Classroom communication must be student-centric. The essence of an effective classroom environment is like lively student-teacher interaction, which of the following will not hamper effective communication in the classroom. A precise statement. When some students are deliberately attempting to disturb the discipline of the class by making mischief. What will be your role as a teacher? Giving them an opportunity for introspection and improve their behavior. Spare the rod and spoil the child. Give the message that undesirable behavior must be punished. What are required for good teaching? Diagnosis, remedy, direction, feedback. Which of the following factors affect teaching? Teacher's internal locus of control, learner motivation, teacher's self efficacy, teacher's self sorry teacher's teacher's skill in managing and monitoring. Sorry, which of the following factors affect teaching? Teacher's internal locus of control, learner's motivation, teacher's self-efficacy, teacher's skills in managing and monitoring, teacher's knowledge of the subject including general knowledge. Sorry, internal and external factors that affect message reception by the students in the classroom are referred to as noise. Which of the following factors does not impact the teaching? Socioeconomic background of teachers and students. Attitude of the teachers that affects teaching pertains to affective domain. For organizing an effective teaching learning system, which of the following combinations of statements would reflect the most appropriate concern? Select from the quotes to indicate your answer. Determining what will be the intended learning outcome. Deciding as to what strategy and tactics will be used. Determining the evaluation tool to be used. Assessing the prior academic experience of the learner. A good teacher must be resourceful and participative. A good teacher is one who inspires students to learn. Teachers who are passionate in classroom transactions involve their students in the teaching learning process. Effective teaching depends on knowledge of a teacher. Research has shown that the most frequent symptoms of nervous instability among teachers is explosive behavior. Select the alternative which consists of positive factors contributing to effectiveness of teaching. Teacher's knowledge of the subject, communication skills of the teacher, teacher's competence in managing and monitoring the classroom transaction. For maintaining an effective discipline in the classroom, the teacher should deal with them politely and formally. Better classroom management means effective group work and interaction among the students, proper planning and preparation in developing suitable teaching aids, punctuality of the teachers and ability to complete course in time. If a seminar or conference is being conducted in your city concerning education, what will you do? I shall seek the permission of the principal. A teacher can achieve maximum involvement of the students in developing the lesson through the discussion method. Discussion in classroom will be more effective if the topic of discussion is informed to the students in advance. Which is the least important factor in teaching? Punishing the students. Which of the following statements is correct? Syllabus is a part of curriculum. Which of the following skills are needed for present the teachers to adjust effectively with the classroom teaching? Use of technology in teaching learning. knowledge of students need, content mastery. The type of communication that the teacher has in the classroom is termed as group communication. Dynamic approach to teaching means the students should be required to learn through activities which set of learner characteristics may be considered helpful in designing effective teaching learning systems. Select the correct alternative for the course given below. Prior experience of learners in respect of the subject. Ability of the learners in respect of the subject. Students' language background. Motivational orientation of the students. Yes, and all teaching implies learning. Reason are learning to be useful must be derived from teaching. Both A and R to R is and R is the correct explanation of which of the following is not an aspect of learning. Sensitization of nerves. The period of adolescence is known as the period of stress and strains. Sorry, the period of sorry sorry the period of adolescence is known as the period of stresses and strains. Which type of behavior is unwanted from the learners at that period? Silence and hush was policy. The ability to learn by an individual is occurred from within. A teacher's major contribution towards the maximum self-realization of the student is affected through sensitivity to a student's needs, goals, and purposes. Learners can learn more effectively by actively participating. Learners should not be encouraged to memorize all the answers to the questions which the teacher may ask. Students can be classified into four types on the basis of their learning. Which one of the following six meaning and reasoning to the learning? Analytical, sorry, Analytical learner. Which of the following learner characteristics is highly related to effectiveness of teaching? Prior experience of the learner. Students can be classified into four types on the basis of their learning. Which one of the following six meaning vision to the learning? Analytical learner. Which of the following learner's characteristics is highly related to the effectiveness of teaching? Prior experience of the learning. Verbal guidance is least effective in the learning of skills from the following list of learner characteristics. Identify those which will be helpful in ensuring effectiveness of teaching. Select your answer from the code. Learner's level of motivation. Prior experience of the learner. Interpersonal relations of the learner. Which one is the highest order of learning? Conditioned reflex learning. Learners can learn more effectively by actively participating. Reason A. All teaching should aim at ensuring learning. Reason are all learning results from teaching. Choose the correct answer from the following code. C is true but R is false. Which of the following set of statements best represents the nature and objective of teaching and learning? Teaching is a social act while learning is a personal act. Teaching implies teaching implies learning, whereas learning does not imply teaching. Teaching is an interaction and is triadic in nature, whereas learning is an active engagement in subject domain. For an efficient and durable learning, learner should have desired level of ability and motivation. The students learn best by doing. Some students in a class exhibit greater curiosity for learning. It may be because such children are gifted. The most appropriate meaning of learning is modification of behavior. The learners always appreciate a concise and stimulating lecture. A teacher in the class should keep the pitch of his voice high enough. The best educational program is the one which is framed keeping in mind the interest of the child. If majority of the students in your class are weak, then as a teacher you should keep your teaching slow and give extra guidance to the bright pupils. To stop the to stop the malpractice of to stop the sorry to stop the malpractice of cheating in the examinations. What steps should be taken by the teacher? Explain the moral values attached to the event. If you get an opportunity to teach a differently able student along with normal students, what type of treatment would you give? Arrange a seat in the front row and teach at a place and convenient to the student. Moral values can be effectively inculcated among the students when the teacher talks of gods and goddesses. When a normal student behaves in an erratic manner in the class, we would talk to the student after the class. For an for an efficient and durable learning, learner should have desired level of ability and motivation. The students learn best by doing. Some students in a class exhibit greater curiosity for learning. It may be because such children are gifted. The most appropriate meaning of learning is modification of behavior. The learner always appreciate a concise and stimulating a concise and stimulating a concise and stimulating lecture. A concise and stimulating lecture. Primary duty of the teacher is to help all-round development of the students. The teacher's most important challenge is to make teaching learning process enjoyable. A teacher can establish rapport with his students by impressing students with his knowledge and skill. A teacher is said to be fluent in asking questions if he can ask meaningful questions. On the first day of his class, if a teacher is asked by the students to introduce himself, he should tell them about himself in brief. If the students do not understand what is taught in the class, the teacher should teach the lesson again, citing suitable examples. The best way to react to a wrong answer given by a student is to explain why the answer is wrong. When a student asks a question to which the teacher has no direct correct answer, he should tell the students that he would give the correct answer later. A successful teacher is one who is compassionate and disciplinarian. Here the following is the most important quality of a good teacher: content mastery and reactive. The primary responsibility of the teacher's adjustment lies with the principal. Those teachers are popular amongst students who help them solve their problems. Success of the teaching profession depends upon growth of both learners and teachers through the teaching learning process. Teachers who are passionate in the classroom transactions involve their students in the teaching learning process. The purpose of higher education is to promote critical and creative thinking abilities among students. Reason are these abilities ensure job placements is true and R is false. A person can enjoy teaching as a profession when he commands respect from the students. One of the most powerful affecting teaching effectiveness is related to educational system. Which of the following is the most important single factor in underlying the success of beginning a teacher? Personality and its ability to relate to the class and to the pupils. From the list given below, identify the learner's characteristics which would facilitate teaching learning system to become effective. Choose the correct code to indicate your answer. prior experience of learner, aptitude of the learner's stage of development. If the students keep on asking questions in the class, should be encouraged to find answers independently. The word Stehen School of Understanding was popularized by German social scientists. Below are given a number of key behaviors as well as helpful behaviors of effectiveness of teaching. Based on research evidence, identify those which are key behaviors and indicate your answer by selecting from the core. Lesson clarity, implying the extent to which presentations are not involved. Engagement rate, devoted to learning when students are actually on task. Rate at which students understand and correctly comprehend assignments and exercises. Which of one of the following is appropriate in respect of teacher student relationship, cordial and respectful? Which of the following is not a prescribed level of teaching differentiation? A college level assistant professor has planned his third lectures with an intent to develop cognitive dimensions of students centered on skills of analysis and synthesis. Below given are two sets of items. Set 1 is assessing the levels of cognitive interchange, and set 2 surprising comprising basic requirements for promoting them. Match the two sets and indicate your answer by choosing the correct alternative from the codes. Set 1 levels of cognitive interchange. Set 2 basic requirements for promoting cognitive interchange. Memory level. Memory level. Recording the important points made during the presentations. Understanding level. Critically analyzing the points to be made and discussed. Reflective level. Giving opportunity for discriminating examples and non-examples of a point. A new teacher to start will have to establish rapport with the students. Which of the following is a key behavior in effective teaching? Instructional variety. The basic requirement to teach effectively, which mastery over the topic, mastery over different strategies of teaching, mastery over technology. If students do not understand what is taught in the classroom, the teacher should feel to explain it in different way. A teacher will become an effective communicator if he helps the students get meaning out of what he teaches. An ideal situation in a classroom would be where a teacher becomes fully prepared to deliver his lecture. Teachers and students discuss the subject. A teacher in a classroom has immediate control over the self-selected method of communication and the message. Which of the following sets of statements represents acceptable propositions in respect of teaching, learning, relationships? Choose the correct code to indicate your answer. When students fail in the test, it is the teacher who fails. Every teaching must aim at ensuring learning. If there can be teaching without learning taking place, a teacher teaches but learns also. As a good classroom communicator, you are supposed to know your artful pauses. What is more desirable in a classroom? A teacher delivering a lecture on the basis of text and his own research while presenting your ideas in a classroom. It is better to recognize that there can be other views. Recognize that students are not a homogeneous mass, taking the dissecting views also in consideration. The most important challenge for a teacher is to make teaching learning process enjoyable. The psychological aspects of the classroom are best managed by the class teacher. An effective teacher will ensure completion or cooperation as situation demands. Most often, the teacher-student communication is utilitarian. Attitudes, actions, and appearances in the context of classroom communication are considered as nonverbal. Which of the following is considered a sign of motivated teaching? Student asking questions. Teachers' role at higher education promotes self-learning in the students. At the primary school stage, most of the Teachers should be women because they know basic content better than men. Identify the important element in it. Important element a teacher has to take cognizance of while addressing a student in a classroom. Provides modulation. Later, the handicap of the students coming to the educational institutions. Later, the demand on the teacher. Which of the following attributes denote greater strength of a teacher? Set a, sorry, Setting examples, willingness to put assumptions to the test, acknowledging mistakes in a classroom. A communicator's trust level is determined by eye contact. In a lively classroom situation, there is likely to be frequent teacher-student dialogue. Which of the following statements is correct? Curriculum includes both formal and informal education. According to Swami Vivekananda, teachers' success depends on his professional training and creativity. Which of the following teacher will be linked most? Will be liked most? A loving teacher. Introduction inside the classroom should generate ideas. A teacher can be successful if he, let's see, represents the subject matter in a well-organized manner. Which of the following qualities is most essential for a teacher? He should have a presence. Suppose a student wants to share his problems with his teacher and he visits the teacher's house for the purpose. The teacher should extend reasonable help to boost his morale. Effective teaching comprises of both the teacher and the students are active. Teaching helps in transmitting the social values and ideas to the young minds. Which of the following which of the following set of statements which of the following set of statements reflect the basic characteristic of teaching? Teaching is related to learning. Teaching is a task word while learning is an achievement word. Teaching means giving information. The failure of teacher to communicate his ideas well to the students may result in classroom indiscipline, loss of students' interest in topic being taught, increased number of absentees in the class. The most important quality of a teacher is sound knowledge of subject matter. If a parent approaches the teacher to do some favor to his lesser board in the examination, the teacher should refuse rightly and formally. The academic performance of students can be improved if parents are encouraged to supervise the work of their wards. Before explaining the need of the topic, it is important to get the attention of the learners. The most significant component of effective teaching is teachers efforts to foster learning and understanding. The most important objective of teaching is to facilitate students when it comes to construction of knowledge and understanding. Teaching helps in transmitting the social values and ideas to the young minds. In the overall growth of a student who plays an important role, teacher education is the manifestation of perfection already in man was stated by Swami Vivekananda. Effective teaching is a function of teachers making students learn and understand while delivering lecture. If there is some disturbance in the class, the teacher should motivate to teach those causing disturbance. Teaching aptitude means loving for profession. Teacher should have knowledge of latest development in his lesser subject area and over his lesser subject content in order to make teaching effective. Which of the following set of statements best describe the nature and objectives of teaching? Teaching and learning are integrally related. Concern of all teaching is to ensure some kind of transformation in students. Teaching is a social act, whereas learning is a personal act. The main aim of teaching is to develop only reasoning, to develop only thinking. The quality of teaching is reflected by the quality of questions asked by the students. Which of the following statements is correct? Communication should have fine message. Which of the following teachers would you like the most having research aptitude? Which of the following statements are not true? Teaching is just an art. Teachers can be trained only. Teachers are born. The main aim of classroom teaching is to develop inquiring mind. Teaching in higher education implies helping students to learn. Teaching will be effective. The teacher starts from what students know already, which is the most desirable outcome of teaching in higher education. Increasing the level of independent thinking of students. Education is a powerful instrument of social transformation, personal transformation, cultural transformation. The main objective of teaching at higher education level is to develop the capacity to take decisions. Sorry. Sorry. धन्यवाद. Thank you so much. धन्यवाद. Thank you so much. All the best. धन्यवाद. Thank you so much. All the best. धन्यवाद. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you so much. All the best. धन्यवाद. 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 Thank you so much. All the best.